interesting story about myself, which I have not spoken about much. When I was, recovering and becoming all right, I don't know, somehow I used to watch a channel which was hated in India, and might be it's still hated in India. And people were very judgmental about it. It was called the Fashion TV,
The
FTV,
FTV, yeah.
you know. So I don't know why, when I would be doing my chores in the home, I would keep that channel on. And there were relatives who would ask, why do you watch this channel? Look at your age, look at this channel.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Matukate. And today I have with me a supermodel and an actor and an inspiration to every youngster, I must say. And he's none other than Dinesh Mohan, sir. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Thanks a lot.
Okay, sir. So I just want to start from your midlife because usually I have people who are close to like 25, 26. So I always ask start from their childhood. But for you, for you, I have to like, where did you work? Like, where, how was your life? And can you just sort of tell about that?
Yeah, have you heard about have you seen the movie called Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
No, sir.
Okay, do watch that. So you'll understand that
Okay.
I'm in my childhood now and
Okay.
have to go back to my previous. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was working like everybody else in a government job, cushy government job, and was doing very well when life started showing its different colors to me. And I, gave it up, gave it all up, almost gave up on life and went into depression. And there was a long fight with depression for around 13 to 14 years, in which I gave up many times. But then in the end, as everybody says, all is well that ends well. I ultimately won over my mental issues, my physical medical issues, and started reclaiming my life, so to say. And by the time I was 55 or 56, I had become totally all right. So from a period of, say, from an age of around 40 to an age of 55, which is almost the prime of one's life, I totally lost it to depression and other medical ailments. So reborn again at the age of 55 is.
So your fight with depression is like an inspiration to everyone. So I want you to like elaborate on that and how was that phase of your life like?
Yes, it is. In fact, my brain has a unique quality of deleting portions which are very negative, and because I consciously try not to remember about those things, not to remind myself of that period again and again. But it all started a long, long time ago, and a few tragedies happened in my life, a few negative circumstances, and which made me give up on life. So I gave up my job at the age of 44. I took voluntary retirement and moved from my place where I was living to Delhi, Gurgaon.
Okay.
And there, everything started sinking in as to what all I had lost in life, and what everybody else is enjoying, and what my condition was at that time. So all these things became very, a lot of heaviness on my mind, and I totally slipped into a dark bottomless pit, and started putting on weight because I was very frustrated, and food was my only solace.
Okay.
So, and the weight happened, and then the medical. Yes, you were saying something.
I just said okay.
Yeah, it wasn't okay though.
Okay.
It was a very bad state to be in. And in retrospect, when I turn back and look at my life, I myself feel very surprised that how did I achieve this? And I simply have no words to explain my journey. It's all divine interference, divine intervention, which made me reclaim my life and overcome all my troubles. And here I am now, as a model and an actor, and the entire world is looking at me. And so very, very extremely thankful and a lot of gratitude towards the universe that it's given me another chance at life.
So, your depression about, like you were telling, obviously personal incidents do affect a person, but would you say even the job, the routine life that a person leads might contribute in some way to the depression? Do you think that?
Yes, it does, because there is, uh, after a certain point of time when you are in a routine, although it is very comfortable, but then it becomes very boring. So some kind of laziness, lethargy starts setting in our lives. This same routine in the home, same routine outside, same circle of friends. So it's very important in life to rejuvenate oneself, to recreate oneself after a certain period of time, look at things from a different angle of you know uh, what you've been looking at things from a certain, and you have your set opinions, but it's very important to overall those opinions change them with the changing time, so that boredom and that laziness and lethargy goes. So now I have realized that, and I try to change the way I think, the way I dress, the way I you know move around after every 3 to 4 months, though it might sound very fickle, but this is what gives me happiness. And I am bothered the most about my own happiness,
Okay.
so I do it.
Everyone should be bothered about their own happiness, then world will
Yes,
be a better place.
the most. This should be the uppermost agenda.
Yes. So, when was that point in our life when you sort of, said, enough of this, I want to get out of this dump and make this life better?
Yes, there is no one. It's not like a switch, which you put on and you put off. It
Yeah.
slowly builds up in you. So there are two ways of looking at whatever is piling up in your mind and in your heart. One is, a feeling of frustration, and that vicious circle that you create around yourself, and you are frustrated. Then you do things that make you frustrated. Then again you are frustrated. The other angle is to say to yourself that that is it, that is enough. And if I'm doing 10 negative things, for example, in a day, uh, one ray of light will make me do one positive thing during those bad days, and that is what will give me hope and build on a better future. So I was frustrated, I was doing a lot of negative things, but then I started consciously doing one positive thing during my day in spite of all my circumstances. So this slowly pushed me towards a more positive uh, state of mind. So I consciously made myself do one positive thing every day. So that is what everyone should try: at least one positive thing, one positive action towards yourself, towards the world, or towards your family, is what makes you live again.
Yeah. And then it kind of sorts of get becomes like a snowball. It, rolls down
Yes,
the hill.
yes, and it overtakes negativity. Positivity
Yeah.
always overtakes negativity, always.
Yeah. And about your weight loss journey, sir, because I am sort of a person who puts on weight on the first 6 months of the year, then sheds the weight in the next 6 months of the year. So for me, it's hard because you always kind of relapse. You get the diet, you start working out, and then you just sort of relapse back to those eating habits. Then, so
Yeah,
how did you do it? Like, because I
see,
believe you
you
were
are.
around 130, right?
Yes, I
So yeah.
had grown up to that weight. And yes, you are right, because most of the people are young, like you are young, and you have plenty of time and that kind of thinking that, okay, I can do it again. I did it once, so I can do it again. So let's eat and enjoy. And
Yeah.
again, I'll join the gym. And then the examples that we have in front of us are also not that good. We normally look at the examples of actors. So a particular actor put on a lot of weight because of a role, and we forget that that guy is being paid crores to put on weight, and there'll be people to help him to shed that weight.
Okay.
So yeah, so we tend to relax and we think, okay, everybody is doing it, I can also do it. But in my case, because this was my second chance at life, and you have to understand that my weight led to a lot of medical issues. So if I wanted to lead a healthy life, I had to shed that weight and keep myself at that ideal weight for a brighter future. So I was already 55 when I lost the weight. And if even if you calculate with best expectations, so how long can you live after 55? At the most, normally people think, I do wish to live beyond 100, no doubt, everybody does that. But at that age, when you are out of depression, you think maybe 10 years more, 15 years more. So you want to spend that time in a very healthy manner. So I lost the weight, and till now I haven't put it on back ever again. And now this profession, it doesn't let me relax at all, because so much of visibility everywhere I go, people stop me and point out, and everybody knows my story.
Okay.
So yes,
That kind of motivates you to, stay at the
yes,
ideal
yeah,
weight all the time.
correct, correct.
So how did you make this transition from a nobody to a supermodel and an actor? So when did
I
this
have no
journey begin?
idea. I have no idea. Yeah, I know how the journey began, because I used to visit a physiotherapist because I was relearning to walk, walking exercises I was learning. And that guy, when he saw my transformation with over a period of months, so he suggested that his father was, working with some modeling agency, and that modeling agency used to employ senior age models, in Delhi. So he suggested, why don't you join that agency, because you're so good looking. And I would not believe him. Even now, I don't believe people when they tell me you're good looking, because
Also,
I still think like,
I can vouch for them. You are good looking.
yeah, but you have a mindset, you have a way of thinking about yourself. And most of us, I'm sure you, me, and everybody, we have a low self opinion.
Yeah,
I've come across very few people who have good image about themselves.
yeah.
We only look at our faults. So I distrusted that fellow, and I said, come on, what the hell are you talking? I can never be a model. But then, somehow my sister also knew about that agency, and she also pushed me to join that agency. And by chance, that agency called me themselves. Somehow they saw there was an article in a magazine about my weight loss journey, and that agency saw, and they said, here is a potential gold mine of a model. So let's earn money, make him earn money, and let's also earn money through him. This is a professional, word. It runs on monetary interests. So they called me. I went there, and within a span of 6 months, I did around 100 to 110 shoots with them. Even today, I posted a pic on Instagram, which is of a wedding shoot, which is one of my earliest shoots, without a beard. And so I used to look like a chomu chikna at that time. So,
So
yeah,
that's how you started your modeling career.
that's how I
But
started.
sir,
Yes.
I want you to ask this because uh, if in terms of podcast, this is my eighth episode considering my first one, and it's still a huge learning curve for me because every time I record a podcast, uh, normally I don't script these interviews. I just
Right.
read about the persons and then ask the questions that comes in my head. So every time
Hmm.
I'm like, I ask something, and in my mind I'm like, what a stupid question you asked. So I still do have that because the learning curve is really big and huge in this one. So you are
I
catapulted
know.
in this unknown territory all of a sudden, and how did you adapt to that environment? Because everything was new to you. You never really went and acted or
Yes. Yeah,
modeled.
and you've used the very right, simile, catapulted into an unknown.
Yeah.
If I can use another simile, I used to feel like a lost babe in the woods.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I was from a middle class family. Everybody in my family was in government jobs. They were Most of them were educationists and a few army officers, and I myself was always a government officer. Nobody knew anything A to Z about modeling, and nothing about acting and all. And even I didn't know. You prepare for a certain profession and then you enter it. I got no time for preparation. I was thirst thrown in front of the cameras and the arc lights. But the thing that worked in my favor was that again, I took this as this last chance at reclaiming my life, you know. So I, from the very first shoot till date, I take everything very seriously in this profession, not seriously as in a very serious term and become dull and boring. I observe everything. I keep my ears and eyes and all the other faculties very open and observant when I am on the sets. So I very quickly I became very aware about the camera angles and the lighting and where the camera is placed and everything. So now when I go to the set and I make an observation about the camera angles and all, even the directors are surprised. They say, how do you know so much about camera angles? So but then I'm very observant and I keep my eyes and ears very open, and that is how I have reached this point in this profession,
So
you know.
do you think you are a natural at this, or did you work on your craft? Or certain professions, someone's like, for if you take me for example, there are certain things where I don't need so much time as opposed to a person who is entering that industry as in the same time as me. So they say you are gifted, right? To say in other words, so do you think you are gifted in terms of your craft, or did you work for it?
That is for people to judge. And I, though I have won acting awards also, best actor award for a short film, and lots of other awards and all. I'm not very sure about my craft even now, but yes, there is one quality that I hold, two qualities beyond all other qualities in this line. Of course, I'm good looking, and that solves a lot of, that opens a lot of doors in this industry. If you look different, then I'm very confident. You place me in front of the biggest star in the universe, I will have my own star shine. I can assure everybody that, even in front of that mega star.
Yep.
And number two, my memory is so sharp that you give me a 200 pages dialogue script and give me half an hour. And I'll remember not only my dialogue, but I'll remember the dialogues of all other characters who are
Okay.
present in that scene. So I have that kind of photographic memory. So I've never forgotten my dialogue. I've never fumbled. And I'm so, what do you say? So cocksure about myself, about my confidence, that I've never felt phased in front of the biggest cameras and the best of sets, and whatever you may call it. So
But like you said, the photographic memory, and you don't forget any lines. Do you think your life in a strange way prepared you for this? Like, because these are things that you pick up in life, right? So it's not something that
yeah,
you get.
yeah, I'll tell you one very interesting story about myself, which I have not spoken about much. When I was, recovering and becoming all right, I don't know, somehow I used to watch a channel which was hated in India, and might be it's still hated in India. And people were very judgmental about it. It was called the Fashion TV,
The
FTV,
FTV, yeah.
you know. So I don't know why, when I would be doing my chores in the home, I would keep that channel on. And there were relatives who would ask, why do you watch this channel? Look at your age, look at this channel. So, but I don't know what fascinated me. So once, in front of one of my relatives who was visiting me from Canada, I said, I wish, look at their lives, yeah, look at the clothes and look at everything. I wish in my next birth, I become a model.
Okay.
So this is just one of thing, that so maybe destiny was pushing me towards it. And it all happened. So that relative from Canada called me a few days ago and asked me, okay, do you remember what you said? I said yes. So there's never a next birth. You get to do play out your dreams in this birth only.
Okay.
Yeah.
And moving on to your career, so which projects, if I had to ask, like, which are the top 3 or 5 projects that you worked on and you're really proud of, which 5 of them
Yes.
would they be?
Yes, one is a movie that released in 2019. Though I'm proud of all my work, I've done Bharat, I've done Darbar, I've done Happy Sardar in Malayalam, and I've done Sand Ki Aankh. So I'm the proudest of this movie, Sand Ki Aankh. which is a biopic on two shooter dadis who were
Mm.
into shooting, and they
Tapsi
were
Pannu
they
and Bhumi
Bhumi
Padnekar.
Padnekar.
Yeah.
In a movie full of men who are assholes, here comes this man who is supportive of women, and he supports his wife and he supports the other ladies in the movie. So I'm very proud of that role. Other than that, I did an ad for a brand called Maury Shirts, which had me in kind of profile like James Bond, very racy, very fast, and very this
Yeah.
thing. So very proud of that at my age I could do that, and lots of other projects that I'm very proud of, very very. And two of my movies are going to release now since the picture halls have opened up. So one is in Tamil, and I don't know these languages, and it's only because of my photographic memory that I could deliver the long dialogues. The name of the movie is Colors, and it will be out very soon. It's a Tamil movie. The other movie is a Malayalam movie, which is called Anna Premble World Cup. So that will also be out. And I play negative characters in both these movies.
Okay.
You know,
So,
yeah,
so you're expanding your horizon a little bit, playing the villain as
yeah,
well as the good guy
becoming
in the movie.
becoming becoming a baddie now.
So, like, I want to ask you this because you worked in Bollywood and then you've done films in Tamil and Malayalam. Like, do you feel any difference in the sets of these movies? Like, do you feel that a Bollywood set is different from a, say, Malayalam movie set? Like, the culture?
Yes,
Do you think it's
it
different?
is. It is very different. It is very different. Bollywood is what I felt is that Bollywood is for a larger reach. The entire country watches, and entire world rather
Yeah.
watches Bollywood. So the movies have that kind of exposure, and you have that kind of involvement in them. But with regional movies, you already know that these have a limited audience. But having said that, as far as treatment and script and stories are concerned, so I found that South people are very innovative. They are very technically advanced.
Yeah.
Their actors and their music, especially, the way they film a song and everything is beautiful. And of course, the locations. So I'm in love with Kerala. So I've done most of my work in Kerala, and it's my second home. So yes, that is the difference I found. Yeah.
So, yeah, that is. So, if I had to ask you this, would you prefer to be a North Indian or a South Indian now? Now that you've seen Kerala, now that you've seen.
I am a very, very proud Indian. Having said that, of course, my roots are in North India, but I love South India. Absolutely love South India. So I won't mind a South Indian girlfriend.
Oh, that's a great way to play,
Expand.
yeah, I'm still a North Indian, but my wife's from South India, so living
Correct.
both the dreams.
So that makes you a South Indian also, no?
Yeah, technically. which is
Technically.
which
So
is which is your favorite South Indian dish?
So a favorite South Indian dish is one is, I'm in love with all healthy food, and I'm a vegetarian. So that limits my choices. But of course, it sounds very cliched, but I love upma, which is
Okay.
South Indian dish. Plus, in Kerala, they have a dish which is, wrapped in banana leaf, and they have coconut and jaggery in that, and it's steamed. I'm forgetting the name, but it's very tasty, it's very healthy, and I can have as many of those when I'm shooting there.
And I hate upma for the record.
Good for you. You'll never look like Dinesh Mohan.
Oh, I can still eat idli and look like Dinesh Mohan. So idli is also
No,
very
you
good.
can't. You can't.
Why do you think that upma has that it is that rich in nutrition?
Yeah, because upma is a dish which is made by semolina, which is called suji
Yeah,
here in North India.
we
And
call it
suji is
rava.
mostly, yeah, it's given to patients when they are recovering in hospitals. So it has that nutritional value. It has that extra energy in it, and it's very light. So, and you can cook it in milk, and you can cook it in salt and whatever. So it's very versatile also. And add as many vegetables to it, But idli is made of rice, of course. But the rava idli is there, which is very good, and I love
Yeah.
rava idli also.
So have you
Yeah.
been to Karnataka anytime?
Uh, I've been to Bangalore.
That's just that's just it.
That's and I guess yeah, one hill station, beautiful hill
Chikmagalur,
station.
Chikmagalur,
No, 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 no. Ooty. Where is Ooty?
Ooty. Ooty is in Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu, which is on the border of,
Yeah,
I guess.
it's in the
Yeah.
border
So
of
I
Karnataka.
traveled from Bangalore after a shoot in Bangalore and a fashion show. I traveled to Ooty for another shoot. So that's all I have seen. I've not been,
I would
you know.
really encourage you to explore Coorg and Chikmagalur. These are
Yes,
really
I've
good
heard a
hill
lot about
stations.
it.
Coorg,
Yes, I've
Krabi.
heard a lot about it. Yeah, I had to, so many, traveling was planned for me for shoots and shows. But because of this COVID thing, the entire world is suffering. So I have no complaints.
So
Safety is the most
how was
important thing.
your lockdown? Was it
My
tough?
lockdown was, it wasn't very tough for me because I was already banvas. I had, spent for 14 years at home, out of which around 7 years were in my room only.
Oh,
And so I was, yeah, it was suffocating for me because I have very bad memories of staying inside. That is how I've been refusing reality shows where they keep you in. I won't name the show, but I've been refusing that because they keep you in one house and you have to be there for a long period of time.
something that
And I get,
sounds like Small Boss is your reality show.
yeah, minuscule boss.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because it's suffocating for me to
yeah.
stay in one house. But lockdown was, yeah, I started working out, I started connecting with the family more, I started doing my household jobs myself. Even Amitabh Bachchan ji is cleaning his bathrooms and his rooms, and everybody is doing that. Yeah.
So what is your workout routine like?
Yeah, my
You have to
workout
maintain.
routine is that, yeah, if you go to a zoo and you go to a monkey cage and put packet of peanuts outside the cage and not give it to monkey, so it will jump around. So it's a very bad example that I gave. I'm so sorry. I'm an animal activist, and I have everything going for animal rights. But the thing is that my cardio is based off dance and jumping and all kind of silly movements that I and if somebody films it someday, it's going to crash the internet like mad. So I even danced to the song that is going viral these days, that big guinea shoot,
Yeah, beginning.
big guinea shoot. So you can imagine all kind of things. And then half an hour is dedicated to weight training.
Okay.
So that is what my, so around 1.5 hours to 2 hours every day of working out.
So any new projects that are lined up for you and you're excited about them and you want to share that?
Yes, I've recently shot for JK Max, which is they have come out with, when there is a lot of seepage in the walls, so they've come out with a solution. So I've shot for them their TV commercial, which will be out very soon. Plus one commercial is already running, and two, three are still, in post production. So, and I've become very choosy about the projects that I'm mostly shooting from home, mostly doing collaborations on Instagram, which pay me very well, and the products are also mine. And I have the luxury of shooting at my own pace. There is no
Yeah,
compulsion. So this is how I'm spending my professional time. You know.
yeah. So I would thank you for being on this podcast. It was wonderful having you. And coincidentally, the first guest that I had on my podcast is a Bangalore-based musician. Her name is Shalini Mohan. So I would just want to put out a disclaimer that these two are not related. This is a different Dinesh Mohan, and she is a different Shalini Mohan.
Yeah, I'm rockingly single.
Yeah, and do you know how I came to know about you?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
My mom sent your video to me on WhatsApp and she said, try getting him on the podcast. So I saw your
Arre.
video and I immediately was like, yeah, I should have
So
him on.
my regard to your mother, and to all the, in fact, all the mothers of the world. Uh, you are the kingmakers, all the mothers.
So thank you,
Yeah.
Dinesh, sir, for being on this
You
podcast.
most welcome, dear. God bless you. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.